I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
I was thinking about the band, I was thinking about the fans. We were underground, loading merch in that 12-passenger van, in a small club in Minnesota, and the snow outside of First Ave. I just wanted my name and a star. Now look at where we at, still growing up, still growing up. I would lay in my bed and dream about what I've become. Couldn't wait to get older, couldn't wait to be some. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of the good old days.
Wish I didn't think I had the answers. Wish I didn't drink all of that glass first. Wish I made it to homecoming, got up the courage to ask her. Wish I would've gotten out of my show. Wish I put the bottle back on that shelf. Wish I wouldn't have worried about what other people thought and felt comfortable with myself. Rooftop open, and the stars above. Moment frozen, sneaking out and falling in love. Me, you, and that futon, we just begun. On the grass dreaming, figuring out who I was. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of the good old days.
Never thought we'd get old. Maybe we're still young. Maybe you always look back and think it was better than it was. Maybe these are the moments. Maybe I've been missing what it's about. Been scared of the future, thinking about the past while missing out on now. We've come so far, I guess I'm proud. And I ain't worried about the wrinkles around my smile. I got some scars, I've been around. I felt some pain, I've seen some things, but I'm here now. Those good old days.
You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. I wish somebody would've told me, babe, someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
I'm gonna need you to raise your glass. I don't care what you put in it. Here's the nights that you can't take back. We live hard, but we love to laugh. And we all thought that we'd get rich fast. Hopped the plane out for greener grass. Found out the greenest cash don't compare to the friends that last. See, we won't forget where we came from. This city won't change us. We beat to the same drum. No, we won't forget where we came from. This city can't change us. We beat to the same drum, the same drum. No matter where sunglasses, Red Bull and minivans, and people who had your back when the world didn't understand. See, we won't forget where we came from. The city won't change us. We beat to the same drum. No, we won't forget where we came from. The city can't change us. We beat to the same drum, the same drum. Hey! No matter where we go, we always find a way back home. No matter where we go, we always find a way back home. When time's losing and we're losing touch and fading away, we'll still be raising our cups to the same damn thing. Oh no, this city won't change us. 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 Won't change us. Hey! La da 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 da, la da 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 da. And no matter where we go, we always find our way back home. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. And no matter where we go, we always find our way back home. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. And no matter where we go, we always find our way back home. We always find our way back home. Yeah, we always find our way back home.
What is your favorite memory from high school?
Probably every single time that I would fall asleep either under the desks in Mr. Porter's room or in the practice room in the choir room, and then they would never find me.
Yeah.
I could sleep for an hour and a half. I'm like, skip class. Sorry. Sorry.
I think my favorite memory would have to be all the times we went to Sherry's after a show and made friends with the Sherry's staff, but also made them really, really mad at us because we're too loud and too obnoxious.
Favorite memory was when we beat Linden and we were Northwest Conference champions, and then my other one was when I got my first kick and we won the game against Blaine.
One of my favorite memories from high school was the winter volleyball tournament every year. My team always dressed up in red, white, and blue, and we always won. And I think every year I hit Mr. Porter in the stomach, so it was lots of fun.
I think my favorite memory from all 4 years was a bonfire in LaConner at the end of junior year. And Rachel and Abby and Alyssa and Connor and Preston and Aya and Holly and I can't remember who else was there, but I think it was really fun, and it was a group that I had never really got to know too closely, but they were all super accepting and super fun to hang out with, and I would definitely do it again. And I was just lucky to make some fun new friends that would carry into the end of high school, into senior year, and just hang out and do some fun things and light off fireworks. So I think that was my favorite.
My favorite memory was definitely beating Linden in the conference championship.
Okay, my favorite memory is probably Tiger Hawk this year. When at the very end, they were announcing the winners, and we're all just we were sitting there so anxious, and then they were like, Burlington, and everyone went crazy. That was just that was a good memory.
My favorite memory was freshman year when I went to Oregon with the cross country team. And we got a tour of Nike headquarters and just went everywhere in Oregon. It was super cool.
Favorite memory of Burlington would have to be the first, it was the second day of senior year, and I knew probably 30 people at the high school, but not one of them had the same lunch as me, and I was really freaking out. And all I remember is I went and I said a little prayer, and then I went, and the first 3 girls I saw, I was like, hey, this is like my first day at Burlington. Is there any way I could sit with you? And they're like, yes. And it turned out that it was like awesome, and that was Holly, Bombach, and Alyssa, and Emma. And so that was probably my favorite memory. It like made my day, it made my month, just that people were willing to like completely open up and let me sit with them. And I don't know why, but like it just made all my like nervous first day jitters go away, and like I just really, it made my day.
One of my favorite memories from high school had to be the last football game when we broke the bleachers from jumping so hard. We had spent the whole year getting to the stands, or to the field I guess, at 4:30, even though gates didn't open until 6, just to make sure we could get that front row spot. And we had been joking about breaking the stands, so when we actually did, it was pretty funny and we were pretty proud of ourselves.
Favorite memory from high school probably has to be homecoming week, just because the week was always so much fun. You got to see everyone all dressed up, and there was Tiger games and homecoming and the dance, the game, everything about it was just so much fun. It was a great week.
My favorite memory from high school is probably prom last year. It was a lot of fun, had all my friends, and yeah, it was a good time. When we were driving away, like leaving prom, I was really sad because I didn't want it to be over, and then I was thinking, oh, don't worry, I can't wait for next year.
Ooh. My favorite memory from high school was after a basketball game in Bellingham. A group of friends and I wanted to make some funny parkour videos, so Zella, we had give us directions to a park, and she picked probably the most sketchiest park in Bellingham that there could be, and that was such a fun night with them, and we still give her a hard time about that.
Mine is, we were getting ready for track, like for districts or something like that, some like big meet, and we were all in like the girls, like the first story bathroom, and I had to wear shorts for it, and we had like an hour until we had to be ready, and this was after school. And so I hadn't shaved my legs, so I had to shave my legs. So I sat on like I sat on the like the sink table thing and like the vanity of it, and like I just shaved my legs in the sink, and yeah, and everyone like people would like walk in, be like, "What is she doing?" And then just like look at me super weird. Yeah.
I think my favorite memory that I will always carry with me would have to be senior year football games. They were so fun, and we would always have a routine of going to like Hagen and getting food and then getting coffee and waiting in line at like 4:30 just so that we could get front row, because the front row is hands down the best. And so I think that would have to be my favorite memory.
I would either have to say the football games senior year, just because they were so memorable and fun, or junior year prom. That was just like a really fun group I went with and a fun time.
There's no way I'd be able to pick just one favorite high school memory, but one that does come to mind that was outstanding and definitely Remy approved would be the first football home game this year. All the seniors got together early and just waited outside of the gate to get the first seats. We bonded in a way that we'd never done before, and it was a special connection moment. Then, I don't even remember if we won or lost, but it doesn't matter because the band was amazing, the student section amazing, the spirit, you're yelling your head off, everything about it was so much fun, and definitely a treasured high school memory.
It's gotta be like Wayne State Championship.
Yeah, definitely Wayne State.
That was fun. If we're going like stuff on campus, it was kind of just like both Porter and like, you know, public speaking, just kind of mess around and do that kind of
Well,
stuff.
it started on campus, but we got a lot of Popeyes chicken sandwiches.
There's that, yeah.
this
We
year.
ended up off campus quite a bit.
Those were pretty good memories. And then all the basketball games. The basketball games were so much fun this year.
Oh, yeah. That was fun too.
My favorite memory is after one of Katie's volleyball games, we stayed in the parking lot for like 2 hours and we just were like dancing around to music, and we made this really awesome Triller.
Okay, so my favorite high school memory is the freshman year lip sync, because we did so badly, but we thought we were so cool, and we just had the best time being total freshmen weirdos out there just having a blast.
My favorite memory was being in the Heights as a freshman because I became friends with a lot of people I didn't know before the show, and it was really fun. My favorite memory from high school is winning state volleyball my sophomore year because so many people were there and it was just a crazy feeling winning.
My favorite memory from high school was this past year during a football game. Our principal, Mr. Baines, I barely knew him, and he jumped up on top of the bleachers and he said, "Logan, grab my feet." And I immediately just grabbed him so he wouldn't fall, and he was doing the roller coaster with us, and it was pretty legendary.
My favorite memory from high school was when I played Shrek in Shrek the Musical, because I really felt like that character is the most like me. I think he was the easiest to play in that way, and I'll always have him in here, you know. I really value Shrek.
I would say my favorite memory is any time that I've gotten to like perform for a crowd. Like I would say either in cheer or in choir and drama, just any time that I get to perform. I love the feeling of like nervous excitement that you get before you get to perform. So I would say that that's definitely some of my favorite memories from high school.
Probably the fact that I got to see and hang out with all of the people I grew up with just constantly.
What accomplishment from high school are you most proud of?
I'm probably most proud of being valedictorian my senior year. I'm probably most proud of being in the top 20 because I kept my grades up.
I think out of all 4 years of high school, my biggest accomplishment has to be earning the title of the class of 2020's biggest flirt. I worked really hard for that to get to where I am today, and I'm personally just really proud of the strides that I made in that process. I campaigned a lot. I really got around to people to tell them to name me their biggest flirt, and they did, and I think that is what, out of all 4 years, I have to look forward to the most.
My best accomplishment from high school. Me and Carson were having a competition to see what random stuff we could carry throughout the campus without being asked any questions. And I got a desk through campus.
We both got desks. No short, me short.
Well, you had a fire extinguisher.
Yeah,
nobody questioned that one. That was a pretty good
arm
accomplishment.
too.
Oh, I made honor roll this year. That was pretty dope. Yes.
Being able to take 6 shop
Yeah,
classes
6
at one
shop
time.
classes. But we were good. We're good. All right.
My greatest high school accomplishment would have to be before running start. I actually got really good grades, and I took as many science and math classes as possible. It was to stimulate my brain the most, I suppose, to challenge myself as hard as I could, and I'm really proud of succeeding in those classes. I thoroughly enjoyed them, and if I had it to redo, would do it again.
Okay, no, my biggest accomplishment, I almost started homeschooling or transferring schools like the beginning of my junior year, and I decided to stay at Burlington, and I think that was a very good decision because I would have hated homeschool or any other school.
Yeah.
I need to be around people. I get too bored.
I'm really proud of last year. Me and 2 of my bestest friends, Caitlin Duvall and Emily Powers, went to nationals for our trio of a song from the musical Waitress, and we earned the highest ranking you could do there. And I'm pretty proud of that. I think that was pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm most proud of.
First of all, we graduated, and I had a GPA of above 3.5, and I was honorable mention in football.
My biggest accomplishment in high school was winning the state championship in 2017 for 2A volleyball.
My best accomplishment was probably last year's golf season because we won county, districts, and we went to state, and we placed 4th as a team in state.
A lot of me and my character is from the fact that I deal with chronic pain and I deal with really bad migraines and a lot of weird things that come with the migraines. But they started in 9th grade and it was like they started at the end of first semester, and long story short, I had just received a diagnosis of a learning disability, and that was really hard for me. And I was kind of navigating that and navigating different therapy. Like, I think at one point, 9th grade year, I was doing 11 different types of therapy, from medical therapy for all my pain and my migraines to all of my learning disability therapies. And it was such an accomplishment that I finished 9th grade and I finished with all the credits I needed and I got all A's and B's. And for me, that was like something that was really important to me. And so finishing 9th grade, which sounds like really stupid, was like such a huge accomplishment for me, because I had teachers tell me like it was okay to take a year off, and like I had teachers tell me, you know, it would be very honorable to drop out. But I'll never forget last year, one of the teachers who told me this, she came up to me at the end of last year and said, you know, I knew you could finish 9th grade, but no one was going to make you. And I did it, and I was so proud of myself. So that's kind of a really long story, but that would definitely be my biggest accomplishment in high school, was finishing 9th grade and finishing strong. So, yeah.
I guess it's not really high school related, but winning the state championship for lacrosse my sophomore year.
I would have to say qualifying for state for golf my junior year. I was hoping to make it to the second day of state this year, but obviously didn't do that. But it was just a really cool experience, and I'm pretty proud of it because I worked pretty hard for it. So
I would have to say probably just being able to participate in WASET all 4 years, and then being able to make it to state every year that I was able to, but our season got cut short this year, but I was on track to go in like multiple events. So that was really cool.
My biggest accomplishment would be this year's yearbook. We put in a lot of hard work given the circumstances of how this year ended, and I'm excited for everybody to see all the changes we've made to it, and hopefully it's a good book to look back on and remember this crazy year.
Really proud of getting to be a part of like a team, like a family, and getting to know like a group of girls really well, and just an incredible group of people in general. Last year was probably the most fun I had in a softball season ever, and I played softball many years, many different teams, and last year was probably the most fun and the most proud I've really ever felt of the team, because we dealt with a lot of things that got thrown at us during our season, and we had to have a couple girls step up, and it was really amazing to see them step up and be a part of the team, just really work hard for it. I am very proud of my teammate and my softball team, and I'm really glad that I got to be a part of that, and I hope that you guys remember me next year.
Probably starting my own photography business. I did that, I remember it was freshman or sophomore year. I think it was sophomore year. It was like the actual like business side of it. And so like that was really cool. And like Mr. Porter helped me out a lot with that, which was awesome.
My greatest accomplishment would have to be basketball season. We beat Linden to win the Northwest Conference Championship, which we haven't done since 1982.
I would say my biggest accomplishment would just be growing like as a person. I feel like not having, when I switched schools to Burlington, not having my friends to rely on as much to give me that sense of self. It's been really nice. I don't want to say nice to not have that, but better for myself, just because you kind of get to gradually figure out who you are. So yeah, I would say that's definitely my biggest accomplishment.
Who's your senior crush?
Our senior crush is Wyatt Walker.
Does senior crush mean like your crush in senior year?
It has to be like someone who is a senior now.
Oh, Logan. Okay, definitely. Yeah, Logan. Logan, right? 110%. Yeah. He's just hot.
My senior crush is DJ Clark. And mine is also DJ Clark.
My senior crush is Luke Colquitt.
My senior crush is definitely Andrew Henry, without a doubt. And maybe Alyssa Peck.
My senior crush would probably have to be Logan.
Unfortunately, I do not have a senior crush this year. I wish I did, but if I were in the situation to where I would have to choose one senior boy out of the whole class, it would probably be Charles Rasco, but otherwise, I guess it's not really a senior crush then, because you don't like that person, so yeah.
This one's a tough one, but my senior crush was definitely Alex Thurmond. Just hearing his voice in the morning, just every morning, just gave me goosebumps.
My senior crush is Eric.
My senior crush is Sergio. My senior crush is Jackson. Shout out Zoe.
My senior crush is Charles Rasco because he's a tall, strapping young lad, and I tell him I love him every day. And one of these days he's gonna respond to one of my messages. I just know it.
Who is your favorite teacher?
Favorite teacher was Mr. Lehman because he was always there for me, the ups and downs, and then he was just there whenever I needed him.
My favorite teacher is definitely Brewer. She was a great coach, a great teacher, and like my second mom. I love Paul Peel. He's such a nice man.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Knudsen. He has been such a huge part of my life the last 4 years with golf and just being a teacher. He is a great teacher and a great coach and just is so personable. And then I also have two more, and they're Mr. Wallace. He is hands down my favorite science teacher. He is so good at what he does, and I hope to be a teacher like him one day. And Miss Wright, I absolutely love her. She was my favorite teacher too. She just was always there for me in STEM class and would help me with any homework that I had. And so yeah.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Voigt because not only did I learn a lot from him in class, but he just taught me a lot about life in general, and he was just really always there for his students when we would go in before school or during lunch or even during his free period, and he was just always there to give us advice or have funny talks with us, and I'll definitely miss him a lot next year.
Definitely Ralph, because he would let me go out and get Popeye's chicken sandwiches. I mean, I was like, no, that's great.
My favorite teacher would probably be Knudsen, because Mr. Knudsen would always never fail. We would always be laughing in his class, and sometimes that's like just what you need, especially like seniors, because we're like really stressed out, like, oh my goodness, we're adults, oh my goodness, like we aren't going to be in the safety of our home, and we're also like trying to graduate, and we're also trying to like deal with everything going on in life, and school isn't the funnest. And so he like never failed. I don't think I ever went to a class, even though I only literally had like a few weeks of second semester with him, like never fail. I think I always laughed in that class, and that's something like I really appreciated.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Voigt because he just tries so hard, you know? And you know, you gotta commend him for it. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to work so hard, but you know what? He gets in there every day, and he puts on all the effort he has. And I'll say that about him.
My favorite teacher was Miss Caldwell because I had her all 4 years, and she was someone I could always turn to if I needed advice or needed help with anything. And she's made a big impact on my life, and I'm definitely gonna miss her next year.
My favorite teacher is Mrs. Powers because I was her TA for 2 years, and she was always really nice to me and gave me lots of good advice.
My favorite teacher is Lovejoy because she's been my coach for 4 years, and she's become like a second mom to me.
Mine would have to be Mr. Knudsen. I didn't have him a ton my freshman and sophomore year, but junior and senior year, I had him for multiple classes, and he was always there for me, and he let me TA, which just allowed me to sit on the couch and watch Netflix every day. So that was really fun. So yes, he's definitely my favorite.
My favorite teacher, I don't know. It's kind of a tie. I got a couple good ones. Radich. He's just funny. He's a good one. Just a good teacher. Ralph, definitely. He's got me into welding, and just a ton of fun to be around. And then Nielsen. Love Nielsen. He's a funny guy. Definitely those three. I don't know if I can pick though.
My favorite teacher is tied between 4 or 5 people. Oh geez. So in no particular order. Jeremy Voigt, amazing. He's just wonderful, and he makes me happy. And I just really like him a lot. I love him as a teacher. He's a good guy. Hollywood, because Hollywood. Joe Ackerson, because he's just fantastic. He's so nice. He's one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. And Miss Belvin, Kathy Belvin, because she's funny and fun, and she wrote on Veronica Mars, which is awesome, and I just love her a lot. So those are my 4 favorite teachers in no particular order. It's too hard to pick one. They're all amazing. I love them all.
I couldn't possibly pick my favorite teacher because Burlington has a ton of just extraordinary teachers. They're all great, whether you want to do the arts or if you want to look further into science or math or English. We have a lot of very dedicated teachers that I'm going to miss a lot, so thank you.
If I had to choose a favorite teacher, and this is a tough one, it would be a tie between Furman and Slagle. Furman is so sarcastic and just has an amazing teaching style. She's a really, really fun teacher to have. And then Slagle is funny as well, but very informative. I mean, you learn a lot in his class, and you'll thank him for it. I mean, those two teachers, you look forward to going to their classes every day. And so definitely my two in a tie would be Furman and Slagle.
My favorite teacher would probably have to be Wallace, just because I've had him as a coach and a teacher since sophomore year.
Okay, it's like a tie between Miss Wood and Mr. Porter.
Yeah.
Because they're both like great teachers.
Yeah. I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. Very supportive people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't have Mrs. Wood until this year, senior year. But, I mean, I had Porter, like, since freshman year. And
he's so funny.
He's so funny. And he's just, like, so real, you know? Like, he doesn't put on a certain act for, like, certain people and, like, I don't know.
Like how certain teachers, like if the principal walks in, like they're just a different person.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's just really down to earth, which is really cool.
My favorite teacher is obviously Mr. Knudsen because he was my floral teacher, which is also just a cool class since it's not really offered many places. And he was just a great teacher. I also had him as my golf coach and my FFA advisor, and he always just made coming to school so much better. I had lunch with him every gold day, and we always just had great conversations, and he was definitely the best teacher and had a huge impact on my life.
It's probably either have to be Mr. Smith or Mr. Raj because they've both made high school fun, at least this last year, and it's just made it really easy.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Voigt because he taught me a lot about writing and he let me eat lunch in his classroom every day, and I have a lot of fun memories from that.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Porter because he's super funny and just chill when you're in his class.
Oh, teachers that really stood out to me, my freshman and sophomore year, the only years of high school that I really had, probably Miss Furman, and when I had her for honors biology, the hardest class I've ever taken in my life, and I actually am in college right now. And Mr. Smith, because I had him for honors English, thank you, it's been a while, and that was probably my favorite class I've ever taken in high school / at Skagit / I don't remember elementary school.
What will you miss most about high school?
probably all of like my underclassmen friends.
Yeah.
I won't be seeing them. Yeah, that'll be sad.
Yeah. I feel like we're in such a weird time where like usually like seniors would be able to like say goodbye to all of their senior friends and
Like have like
leave
our
college.
last weeks at school.
Exactly,
together.
or even like, you know, a normal graduation where like everyone can be there and like hugging and stuff, but like now we're in this kind of weird position where like we're probably not gonna be able to like say goodbye to our friends and stuff. Like it's weird. But I'm probably gonna miss like sports most of all, sports and friends, just because it's gonna be so weird. Like I've been doing sports all my life, so then all of a sudden I'm not gonna, because I'm not doing it in college.
You don't have all the practices and all the carpools and everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be so weird.
I think my favorite teacher had to be Mr. Voigt. I spent more class time than I should have in his classroom. I skipped some class to hang out in there, but I think his room had the best environment, and he was really open and accepting and could talk to me whenever I needed, and we could always joke around and get along with each other too. And I was his TA for senior year for both semesters, so I think I'm definitely gonna miss him a lot, and he had to be my favorite teacher.
What are you going to miss most about high school?
I definitely think I'm gonna miss sports the most. All 4 years of volleyball and softball, and then my last year of cheer.
I think I'm just gonna miss being able to like hop into your friend's car after school and just like all the fun memories that happen because of that.
Okay, so the thing I'm going to miss most about high school will be just being able to see my very best friends every day, all the time, being able to be in classes with them and talk with them at lunch and be in shows with them. I'm just gonna miss seeing them all the time, so.
Honestly, I'll miss the pep assemblies because they're really fun, and even if I'm not the most gung-ho school spirit person in the world, like I always enjoyed them, and I always enjoyed seeing all the different things people did and all the fun games that we played and all the different, people who were honored at them. It was really fun.
I don't know, just like all the random stuff that we would do on campus. Like we have dozens of videos of just doing random crap. That's myself there. You're welcome. But just doing random stuff that, I don't know, it was like fun. It's fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was just a good time. Like, I don't know, I'm just gonna miss high school in general. Like, I'm not gonna miss the classes, of course, because that's schoolwork.
That's why we didn't get AP classes here.
Exactly. Take easy classes, kids.
Take easy classes. Don't try.
No, but just a ton of fun, just hanging out, being with friends, enjoying life.
The thing I'll miss most about high school would be probably FFA and all the competitions and conventions I would get to go to.
What I'm going to miss most about high school is definitely the student sections in games where there's a lot of spirit, like Trifecta or Homecoming Week, or really just any game when the whole student section just feels like a big family. It's a lot of fun.
What we're going to miss most about high school is definitely each other and just all of our other friends that we've made throughout high school, all the relationships we've made.
And all our teammates, they've really become like friends for life for us.
What I'll miss most about high school is being involved in sports because you get to meet a bunch of different types of people.
I'm definitely going to miss the drama program the most after I graduate. Not just for shows. I mean, shows are fun and whatever, but I think just the general environment and vibe and getting to hang out with Holly and Hannah Miles on a daily basis, I think is the best part. I missed a lot of class just hanging out with them and getting to talk, and just being in the room and being vice president of the drama club was a big part of my year this year. So I think that's going to be the hardest thing to leave. I don't know. I made most of my friends and a lot of my memories through drama, so it's going to be a little bit tough saying goodbye, but I think it's going to be a good start and I get to come back and help out with shows, so I'm really excited for that.
The thing I'm going to miss most about high school is basically my friends, all of them. It was just fun being with them.
Honestly, I'm probably gonna miss my friends the most just because we always laugh about stupid stuff. So I think that I'm probably gonna miss them the most, even though I have faith that we'll still keep in touch after we go to college. I would also say teachers, definitely. I'm gonna miss the teachers. Cool underclassmen that I met too, just a lot of things probably.
What I'll miss most about high school is probably getting ready every Friday night before the football games, all the cheerleaders. Those are such fun times and something I always look forward to every Friday night.
Something that would always make me feel better, even if I wasn't feeling well someday, was always people would never fail, made me laugh, and people would just make you feel good. And I don't think there was one day that I ever went to Burlington that I didn't come home without laughing once. And so that's I guess probably the thing I'll miss most is all the laughter and all the just love and stuff.
Getting to see everybody every day would be the biggest one.
What I'll miss most is going to all the dances because Luke and I went to all of them together and they were really fun.
I think I'm going to miss just being a Tiger the most because I love just being a part of the school and representing everyone there and just getting to cheer on the teams all the time for any sporting event and any activity. I just love being a Tiger.
I'm gonna miss seeing a lot of the people that I grew up with because I'm probably not gonna be able to see them again. I'm gonna miss the cheer pregame rituals, going over to somebody's house to eat food before the games. So good.
The thing I'm gonna miss most about high school is the second urinal on the first floor because it's the cleanest.
The thing that I'll miss most from high school, and this is a no-brainer, is Friday Night Lights, for sure. They were so much fun, and I wish I could go to more. The adrenaline is pumping, and in a way, it's a way to unwind from school. I mean, you are screaming your head off the entire time. Trucking, oh my gosh, what is better than that? You're surrounded by people that you love and that love you. The band is going wild, you're going wild, and so is, you know, obviously the team. Everything about it is so much fun and something you don't want to miss.
I'm gonna miss a lot of things about high school, but I'm definitely gonna miss seeing all my friends every day and just all the familiar faces in the hallway, because I mean, we all go our separate ways, which is hard, but we had 4 years of fun, which was really nice.
Yeah, I have to agree. Just seeing familiar faces and seeing the teachers around and just like the atmosphere that high school had and just the spirit. I'm gonna miss the spirit and going to all the activities and sporting events. I'm gonna miss all of that.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss football games a lot.
Those too. were fun. They were fun, especially senior year.
I'm gonna miss my boys, of course. I'm gonna miss my teachers, messing around with them, of course, too. And definitely gonna miss lifting in the mornings with my main guy, Olson, and then getting him coffee right after. So I miss a lot.
I think what I will miss the most out of high school is probably like football games. I always like going to football games. I like just like the vibes of being at the stadium and stuff, being on Kirkby with like the stadium lights, and I just love hearing like the marching band, like the drums, because like you can like feel it in your heart. Yeah, I'm gonna miss a lot of things though. I'm just gonna miss getting to see all the people that I like know and like grew up with and stuff.
Senior